What's up, everybody? I thought about it. Um, this show, doing it on a Saturday before Christmas. A lot of you probably out doing your last minute Christmas shopping, so you don't even know that this show is happening. But that's all right because I needed to get this done while it was A, fresh on my mind, and B, before I got too caught up with all the February stuff. It's already starting. I'm already starting to book people and putting out some queries for specific types of guests for the programming that I want to offer. In case you are unfamiliar with February, this is your first time on this channel. February is Video a Day February, which we took the F off and put a D in honor of moi. But what we do is each year has a theme. Next year, the theme is Winning at Life. And it's going to be uh, 28 days full of guests and uploads and a panel discussion or two as I can get together. And the theme, is on self-motivation, self-preservation, boundary setting, improving self-esteem, all the things that will make you a winner at life. So that's what we're going to be doing in February. So I'm already, I'm getting geared up and busy with that. And then the interviews start mid-January. So if I didn't do the show today, it wasn't going to happen. So hopefully it will be something of interest to you. And I will invite you to, if you want to share later, I'll put the link up in the chat stream for you. Uh, hey, everybody. Oh, I see Vanna. Oh, you got a notification for a change, girl. I don't know. YouTube be treating me like a redheaded stepchild with freckles sometimes. People say, oh, I got unsubscribed. I didn't get my notification. So I never know what's going on. What's up, Shay? See, I knew. See, Christmas activities. I knew that. I knew that. But I have to do it now. Okay, so the idea for the show came from a channel visitor, and she suggests, I forgot which video she posted it under, but anyway, her comment or question rather was, what do you believe are the negative traits that a woman can overlook in a man or work through in a relationship? So, I had to give that a lot of thought because my initial response is none of them. But I know that's unrealistic. And so I gave it some thought of what kind of things, might be you could overlook. Some things will require compromise and negotiation. Those are things in the middle. And then there's just things that you should never compromise, never overlook, and never negotiate. And so we're going to go over those. Some of the examples of stuff that I personally would never overlook are the things that come in. Like, remember the letter last week from the girl whose boyfriend liked to wear diapers, and he'd want to wear diapers around the house, and she was still dealing with him. I don't know. There's just people just, the girl from some months ago whose boyfriend hadn't bathed in like a month, and he would spray himself in his clothes with Febreze. These are the kind of things that I just don't think, one should tolerate. But, obviously there are people who disagree with me. So before we get into this, I want to say, let me put this caveat in there. These are things that I think. Now, since she asked me, I'm giving my opinion. You may have a different one because people's tolerance levels, patience levels, and ability and willingness to compromise vary from person to person. I personally think compromise is a dirty word. It should just, I don't like it. But I don't like compromise. That whole process of going back and forth and negotiating and all that stuff is just not for me. So anyway, let's get started. So, um, okay. So every week, I had to remind myself to say this. Every week in the advice column, we have women who basically compromise themselves. They compromise their morals, values, goals, dreams, everything for a relationship. It means more to them to have a man, a boyfriend, a fiance, a husband, than it means for them to honor and respect themselves. So that those are the women who, to me, from my perspective and from yours too, it's like they have glaring red flags that they are for some reason ignoring in the quest to, maintain this relationship. So to me, there's compromise, right? There's there's positive compromise, and then there's sacrifice. And so if you sacrifice, usually that's the negative. So compromise, which is maybe I'll give in, but I don't really want to. And there's positive compromise where the two parties work out an agreement that is mutually beneficial, mutually agreeable. They both go away happy with what they, negotiated between them, still in love, all this other stuff. And then there's the negative compromise or sacrifice that is detrimental to you as a person and often to the relationship as well. So let's start with the definition of compromise. So, I had to head to the dictionary. Point, a way of reaching an agreement in which each person or group gives up something that was wanted in order to end an argument or dispute. Okay, the key word there, each person gives up. Okay. B, settlement of differences by arbitration or by consent reached by mutual concessions. Again, the key word is both parties, mutual. You caught that? C, something intermediate in between, are blending qualities of two different things. So generally, like in a compromise, that kind of compromise, it might be, I don't know, say you want to have, uh, I don't know, some certain, okay, you want fried chicken for dinner, and the other person doesn't want fried chicken, but they'll accept, uh, baked chicken or something. So then what do? So you have to, reach a consent by you both give, well, okay, well, we won't have fried chicken today, we'll have fried chicken tomorrow. There you go. Okay. What's up, DP? Oh, Onyx is here. Oh no. Okay, so and then D, it can also mean a concession or something derogatory or prejudicial, i.e., a compromise of your principles and a bunch of other things. I made a whole list of things that a lot of women compromise on that they really should not. It makes for a very, very unhealthy dynamic in the relationship. Okay, so what is unhealthy compromise? Unhealthy. You're the only one giving up something. It's always on you. You always giving in to the other person. You always the one doing all the adjusting, right? You're the one that's doing all the sacrificing. The other person just nothing happens. Their life remains the same. The only person impacted is you. You're the one always apologizing, whether you actually did something or whether it's just to get them to shut up. You always apologizing, right? Um, or you don't get much, if anything, back. You're always giving all these concessions. You're always giving in, or you're always apologizing. But you notice that rarely, if ever, comes back to you, right? It's always on you to give the other person what they want, while you don't get much back of what you want, if anything at all. Or the relationship, bottom line, you sum things up, the relationship feels one-sided. Okay. You're doing everything, and the other person is just kind of along for the ride. A lot of women do that. They call, they plan the dates, they plan the vacations, they plan all the parties, they plan the kids' birthday parties, they plan to, what to do for his mother. They buy all the gifts in the house. We have a whole video about that called emotional labor. If you don't understand what that means, take a look at that video, and it goes into a great deal of depth about how much women sacrifice themselves for a family, or not even always that, just usually just their man, their husband or boyfriend. Okay, so now let's talk about what healthy compromise is. Healthy compromise is when you both feel like you have equal value in the negotiation. Sometimes you women will get hit with that. Well, you're the woman, and you're supposed to submit to me. Okay, once they throw that word out, that submit word, you already know they on some bullshit. Because then after that it becomes a thing where they're, pressing you to give up something while they don't get anything. And they're using God as their wingman. So for women who are religious, that's a very hard he'll decline. From people like me, it's like, boy, you better get lost, get out of here, and bye, Felicia, and all of that. Okay, so for under what's a healthy compromise, you both work out ways where you can achieve X and you both give up Y. So the goal is you both, are giving something to this dynamic to come out, like I said earlier, with a mutually agreeable, mutually workable plan for whatever it is, you guys are trying to work out. It's called good old fashioned give and take. You give something, you get something. You take something, you give something. It's back and forth, it's mutual, and it's not really like a measuring kind of thing. Speaking of which, I had to go off on my oldest brother. Okay, something came up and I needed some money. So he sends me $100, 100 measly dollars. Okay. This brother is balling. Okay. Now let me tell you this. I said, okay, that's fine. I got the rest I need from other people. So then this is, I paid everybody back. And, but then he hit me with this just the other day. He says, that I hadn't given him anything since he got married in 1987. I said, stop lying. So luckily, I remembered like all the times I saw him during the holiday. Not to mention when I went to LA and got him and his wife and his kids presents, they didn't give me or my daughter anything. That's when he was still married. Okay, then, he came up here. I got him stuff. When he was going to he would get to his master's in public health. Guess who proofed all his papers and formatted them all? I devoted at least 50 hours of work to his master's. He said thank you, but if I got paid for that, how much money would that be? Way more than $100. So he got cussed out. I'm sorry. And it was so close to a Sunday. He got cussed out. And so he's like, why are you talking to me like that? I said, because you acting like an ass. I don't like this conversation. Don't be sending me no bullshit ass text like that again. Don't tell me to start making a tit for tat list of everything I do for you as your sister. And you're gonna be trying to hold me to the fire about $100 funky. Let me send you your money. But then I decided, no, I'm not sending them shit. That's my present for this year. So I I had cash, got the cash, and I was gonna, send it to him. I'm like, nah, let me keep that money. And I was just like, so turned off. And I'm like, oh my God. See, if he was a dude that I was dating and came at me like that, he would have been so fired. But it's my brother, so I can't really fire him. But he's in the corner right now. He's on a timeout. So I'm just like, dude, you just really. I was so disgusted. I didn't even know what to say. You see, I'm still disgusted. It happened yesterday. All right, so there you go. That give and take thing. That don't do a tit for tat. If you got to keep a score, then that's not the person for you. All right, because my grandmother used to say it's better to bend than it is to break. And I didn't really understand what she meant until I got married. And then you could see, you have to be, even with a boyfriend or whatever, you, as a husband and a wife, your relationship is different. And it requires a lot more concentrated energy to keep it afloat and to keep each other happy, So you might find yourself being a little bit more flexible than you are used to. That's what happened to me because I was the only girl. So I'm always used to getting everything I wanted, right? And then suddenly hear somebody else talking about what they want. I was like, wait a minute, what you talking about, Willis? That was hard for me. That was really hard. And having to share, that was hard. That was a big adjustment for me. Like, I always had like my own room, my own stuff. And suddenly, it's like I had to share a room and all the stuff. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? It was not an easy adjustment for me. So let's see. Let's go over this now. Way back in 2006 or 7, something like that, I wrote this article called uh, Sailing the Seven Seas of Love. You can find it all over. I wrote it for one of those like article kind of things where people pay for an article and then they can put it on their blog. They like license your content. So I was writing for one of those at the time, and that's what I wrote this for. So let me go over this because unless you search for it, I think it's kind of obscure at this point. But um, wrote, advice seekers often submit questions requesting guidance on saving relationships on the brink of destruction. In many instances, those problems should have easily been prevented had the couple shared better communication. In an effort to prevent that from happening to you, let's go over to what I call the 7 C's of love and communication, which covers the things I believe we should consider when exchanging opinions, ideas, emotions, and frustrations within our romantic relationships. And so then I'm just going to highlight it, but there's 7 things. I have a whole paragraph of explanation for each one, but I'll read you the 7 points. Number one is careful consideration. That means, consider the fact that someone's ideas, opinions, and family of origin are different from yours. They're going to have different belief systems, and it's not your job to criticize that, but to try to understand it. And if you can't understand it, then that's not the person for you. Number two, be calm. This is really important because people get like all worked up and they say things they later say they didn't mean, or they start involving their hands, doing things anyway that physically hurt someone or emotionally damage them or the relationship. Keep yourself calm. If you feel like you are getting out of control, hit the door, get in your car, go for a walk, go for a drive, do anything to separate yourself from the situation until you calm down and get your sensibilities back. No need for you to do something stupid and end up in prison for 20 years. Okay. Number three, courtesy. Things like saying please, would you mind, excuse me, and thank you. You say all that stuff to strangers. Why would you not say it to your mate? Why not show appreciation and thanks for the stuff that they do for you? Being kind and courteous doesn't stop just because you in a relationship. Just because somebody's your parent, just because somebody's your mate, it shouldn't. You should still be polite to them. Number four is cooperation. Show a spirit of cooperativeness. You show respect for each other. You try to talk things out. You appreciate, try to let the other person express themselves and their emotions. You let them feel heard. That's very important. You're showing a spirit of cooperation. You don't let them be hanging by themselves. You step up. Number five, you call. Sometimes, people text these days. Remember when this was written, people weren't, texting that much like they are now. But, you can call to say, hey, baby, I was just thinking about you. Hey, do you need me to pick something up from the store? I'm on my way home in a few minutes. What you need, what you want. How about a glass, some wine with dinner? It's call. Just say, I just want to hear your voice. I only have a minute because I'm headed off to this meeting. But, I just want you to know I was thinking about you. Okay. Sweet thought, click, gone. But that kind of attentiveness to your partner goes a long way. Number six, commitment. You got to make a commitment to your person and then you adhere to it. Don't be dibbing and dabbing and threatening them with breaking up the relationship every time you turn around. That's not commitment. That's, I don't know, you just want to scare them or something. And then number seven is compromise. And that's what we're talking about tonight. The bottom line there is you cannot have a successful long-term relationship unless you learn how to do that successfully. You have to give to get, like I said earlier. You may choose to forego your desire sometimes for no reason other than it makes your partner happy. But the key is that he or she will do the same for you when the opportunity arises. You don't want a situation where it's just one-sided, where one person is doing all the giving, all the sacrificing, all the you don't want that. Okay. So that's that article. I may copy it over to the community wall so you guys can read it. All right. Now, with that said, are there some things that you should never compromise on, negative traits that you might be able to overlook? Okay. I'm seeing some things you should never compromise and traits that you might be able to overlook. So let's go over some. Now, just remember the question that she asked. What do you believe are the negative traits that a woman can overlook in a man or work through in a relationship? Okay. Now, I'm going to read this list and then I'm going to invite you to call in and share your thoughts if you have any, or you can just put them in the chat and I'll, roll them across the screen, whichever one that you would like. This is the link if you want to say something. Then what you're doing, what you're saying now, what are the negative traits that a woman can overlook in a man or work through in a relationship. Okay, these are the things that you think somebody can overlook or work through. Your opinions on that. Okay, I'm going to read my list. To me, the things that would fall into that category are things that make you roll your eyes, right? You're like, oh, that kind of thing. Or they make you just laugh because you think, oh my God, he is hella stupid. Or it kind of gets on your nerves a little bit, but not to the point where you want to like rant and rave. But these are things that don't really cause you any real problem. Like there's nothing financial, there's nothing psychological, there's no emotional harm, there's definitely no physical harm. These are little just irritants and stuff, like I said, that makes you roll your eyes. They aren't a threat to the well-being of you or the relationship. Now, what kind of things might fall under that classification? Okay, so here's some of the glassy Glassy eyes went right up. You think that's something that you can overlook? I don't know. These are things that you think you can can be overlooked. Okay, we're doing that first. What can be overlooked? Okay, she says height and weight. Okay, yeah, because I like you might decide that's something that you can compromise on. Oh, okay, I'm going down the list. What you guys put? Insufficient eggplant. I don't know about that one, glassy eyes. Okay, here's another. Okay. Yeah, see, Sloan Sloan is with me. I don't know about that one. Okay, he plays video games. Okay, that's a good one because that is a very common one these days. Okay, all right. Okay, here's another one. Okay, they're coming with some really good ones. All right. Oh my God. I don't know about that one. I don't want to be looking at no rashy back. These are things that you think you can negotiate on. Okay, I don't know about that one, A. Rogers. That doesn't seem like, because you either have them or you don't. I think you meant on something that can't be negotiated. We're making a list of things that can be negotiated or overlooked right now. Okay, this is a list of things that can be overlooked. Can be overlooked. Okay. Okay, but you guys are mixing in stuff that I said things that can be overlooked. You guys are mixing things in that can't be. This is things that you can overlook only. Okay, can overlook. Things that might make you roll your eyes, things that might make you, be slightly irritated, but they're not detrimental to your self-esteem, your physical health, your mental health, nothing like that, and or your money. Okay, keep that in mind. Things that you can overlook. Can. Right? Okay, that's a good one, glassy eyes. That's a good one. You can overlook messed up teeth. Well, I guess if he's headed to the dentist. Okay. You guys got some good ones. Things you can overlook. I like Steak's 5 o'clock shadow. I think that looks sassy. That's sassy. Okay. Dingy car. Okay. A kid. All right. One kid. Okay. Allergies. You can overlook allergies. So, you heard about my experience. I guess I can't say nothing. Works long hours. Okay. Yeah, because he's going to be tired. He's not going to have a lot of time for you. Bad fashion choices. Ooh, hunty. Ooh, hunty. Okay. He needs a haircut. Yeah, that's a simple fix. Well, shoot, that's most people in California then. Yeah, you have to overlook it because these houses are like 400, $500,000. Ain't everybody can't do that. But shoot, unless he gonna be using Grecian formula, that's pretty much gonna happen. Being a fret. A pack rat? You can overlook that? Well, I guess as long as you don't live together, huh? It's no biggie. Okay, with the Ravania, that's you have to. This is a list of over things you can overlook, not things you can't. Okay, things you can overlook. That's what we're talking about right now. Things you can. Things that you don't want. What can you overlook and still feel like you're okay in the relations? Annoyingly, no, that wouldn't work for me. That would be a can't overlook because I'm very auditory. I cannot stand it. Like dudes that have them screechy voices or they sound high or ooh, I can't take it. Okay, doesn't like to travel. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, and she already come up with the solution. Look at you. Okay, so and somebody else for the tire. Okay, having a cat or a pet snake, girl. My husband used to have a snake. We had two, and then one got out. I said, I'm never coming to your house again till you find that bad boy. And I didn't either. I was like, oh, hell to the no. I could just see that. Here I am laying up there in the bed to something. You see something going across the floor. Oh, I would have went to the moon all by myself. I would have jumped so high. You can forgive chest hairs. Okay. Height, okay, if he's really cute. Well, shoot, for me, that's a good height. I'm only 5'5", 5'9", 5'10". I can do that. He drinks every once in a while. What, you want him to drink more? You don't want him to drink at all. Which one is it? You can overlook him being talkative, okay. You can overlook men who are introverted, okay. He doesn't work out. Yeah, somebody mentioned a little Teletubby tummy up above. Low libido. You can overlook that? Okay. How do you have a geeky laugh? That's too funny. Girl, I can't overlook no because in my era, that was people that had that long pinky finger. You know what they did with it. And so when I see men with long nails, I just get grossed out. I cannot. I would have to do a manicure on him instantly. His non-funny jokes can be overlooked. That's true. That's like I said. To me, the things that will fall into this category are things that make you like roll your eyes, but they're not really serious. So he's telling all those crazy jokes, right? And you sitting up there rolling your eyes and shaking your head like you just, how old are you again? Kind of thing. Yeah, you can overlook that because it doesn't really have anything to do with um what's up, neck bone? I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, dad jokes? Oh yeah. But some of those are really funny though. I'm sorry, I laugh. Oh no, okay, I get you. You look at them sideways. Well, yeah, but I mean, some men have like feet and they have like hoofs and stuff. They need to be getting a petty because you ain't nobody trying to be having them things clawed, scratch up their legs and feet. You would have to teach him. Okay, okay. You can overlook bad posture. Okay. So you guys gave some good answers. You can keep putting them in there, but I'm going to go on now and share my list of things with you. You guys all gave some really good ones. I don't even know if I have those on my list, but just number one, forget things that you think are important. Now, why I put that on there, I'm going to tell you this. Okay, my father used to forget our birthdays. He could not tell you when we were born. He didn't know nothing. But you know what? He also didn't remember his. So once I figured that, I was like, okay, birthdays are just not that important to this man. But if you told him, like, tomorrow is my birthday, well, then he would come through. But it's like, just to remember on his own, never happened. We had to tell him, it's mommy's birthday on Tuesday. Okay, so that might be on the previous week. Okay, then daddy on Saturday. Daddy, it's mommy's birthday on Tuesday. We should go get her a present. And then he would get us all in his truck and we would go get my mother a present. But I mean, to just left to his own devices, never happened. So something like that, you would have to kind of intervene. But now they have like electronic calendars with reminders and stuff, so there's no excuse. All right, number two, accept that no one is perfect, but know that you know your limits. And I'll talk about what some of those limits should be in a minute. Number three, may not look the way that you imagined that your spouse looked. Some examples where they have a little pot belly, might be shorter than what you want, might be, whatever. Something's going on that's a little balding, something. He may not look exactly the way that you fantasize that your perfect man would be, but he's still a really good guy for you, and so you overlook that one or two, those little things like that. Number four, when there are slight variations in hobbies, interests, and foods. Sometimes this causes a major conflict if that person starts to try to bully you or ridicule or humiliate you about your choices of hobbies, interests, and foods. You would have to make that determination on a case by case basis. Sometimes you guys are just very different, just like to do different things. There's no problem with that. If they have friends to do those things and you have friends to do yours, I mean, you might want to do it with them every once in a while, but it's not your thing. It's just not, you just really have no interest in it. There's nothing wrong with you guys having separate interests. So it's not like you have to be joined at the hips and be Bopsy twins, you know. Number six, he loves routine. And, oh, I'm sorry, number five, ambition. Does this person bring enough value in other ways to your life? Because some of the women we're talking about, I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago, a woman who was like a multimillionaire who married a professor who was like well renowned in his field. So he was making great money, and he had speaking engagements and stuff. So he got big speaker fees and whatnot, but he didn't have the millions that the wife had. And so some people were like, well, he's a dusty. I'm like, no, nope. This is a PhD that's well renowned in his field that goes and travels around making speaking engagements and writing, books and stuff. The guy is not a dusty by any means, but his wife definitely has more money from her family than he does. But I mean, is that okay? I mean, is that something that you could overlook, or do you need to marry another millionaire? Okay. I think that there's other things that are more important when someone enters into a relationship. Just like what's her name? Whatever, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. She married a teacher versus a multimillionaire like herself. Why? Because he goes to work from 9 to 5 and then he's home to have dinner with her every night. And every weekend he's there together, unlike her previous husband, who she probably never saw. So these are the kind of things, you have to weigh as a person what's important to you, what value is to you, and if this person brings that value to your life, and if they're not the most ambitious or money making individual. Number six, loves routine and you love variety. This is a big one. I've had that situation in some relationships I've had. I like to try new restaurants. I had a mission when I was growing up to try every restaurant in San Francisco. I got damn close. I had something, an appetizer, a take, something from just about every restaurant. It took me years to do this, and I can't even tell you how much money I'm wasting. But I just wanted to do that. And but the guys I dated, a lot of them they found one place they liked, or maybe two or three. They got hot dogs from this place, they got burgers from this place, they got Chinese food from this place, they got burritos from that. But they were like little people of routine, and they didn't like to change. Whereas by the time I go there the second time, I'm bored. I don't want to go here again. So that was very interesting. Number seven, formal education. Okay, some women might say, well, um, I want a man who's got a formal education, this and that. Okay, that you have every right to do that. I'm not saying you can't, But what I'm saying is look outside the box. Just because someone has a degree does not mean that they're actually an intelligent person. That means that they can memorize well. How many people have we all met that we can definitely term an educated fool? They cannot think their way out of a paper bag with both ends open. Complete idiots. They can recite facts and figures and stuff like that. But as far as relating to people on an like emotional intelligence kind of a level, or just learning just for the sake of learning, reading just for the sake of learning something new, they would never do that. So if you have a man who may not be formally educated to the level that you are, but he has an active mind. He reads all the time. He knows so much stuff. He can pretty much expound on pretty much any topic because he reads voraciously. And he's an interesting guy. He's funny, witty, all stuff. Okay, are you going to give that up because he doesn't have a MBA or a master's or something like you? If you do, you need to choke yourself. And the last one I have on my list is marriage. Now, I know a lot of women are like, what? Oh, I can't compromise on that. I'm going to say this. You can overlook marriage. You in your 40s. You ain't having no damn baby. You done built up your retirement. You own your own home. You have a... Okay, I'm not saying you can't get married. I'm wanting you to ask yourself why you feel the need to do that. What's going on that you feel you must have that? And answer yourself and be honest about why you think that you want that, because you know it's something I think that more women should really consider. Okay, now what kind of thing, now I want to talk about this. What kinds of things should a woman never overlook? I mean, yeah, not overlook. What kind of things should she not compromise on? What kind of things should she not negotiate on? There's a long list. You guys said some of you had put your answers to this question earlier. So I'm going to ask you again. You can type your answers in. I will put them across the screen. What should a woman not overlook? What kind of things should a woman not ignore? You can reflect on some of the advice column questions that have come in where they ignored all kind of stuff. Red flags waving so much it just looked like a damn parade. And just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yes. That's on my list too. Yep. Yep. So disrespectful. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Oh, yes. Oh, Lord. Ooh, hunty. Yes. Some of you are putting duplicates, so I'm not putting those. I just want you to know. So it'll be different stuff instead of repeats. Ooh, honey. Yes, the mothers. Ooh, my God. Yes, that's a good character trait. Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. You guys are putting some really good ones. Yes, honey, that's a big one. They certainly do that. Yes, that includes the snark, sarcasm, and ridicule, and all kind of stuff like that. Oh, oops, I'm sorry, I did that one. There we go. That's the one I meant to do. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But Gia, we had some letters with the women. I'm telling you, this dude He didn't bathe. He sprayed himself with Febreze. This is a real. This really happened. Yes. Ooh, yes, DP. Tell it. These are all things the ladies are saying that you should not ignore. You should not ignore these things that they're putting here. Yes, bad teeth really, the bacteria that those will emit are, could damage his heart and he could be checked up out of here. Bad teeth is just terrible. It's a bad situation. Okay, yep. Get you caught in a drive-by. Yep, I dumped a dude for doing that. You're welcome, Jones. It was a really good question. You lucky I saw it though. Usually I ask people to send those to me by email, but I happen to Candace is on vacation, so I happen to be on the wall myself, approving comments, and I happen to see it. But normally I don't see those. It worked though. Gaslighting. Oh my God, that's a horrible one. Okay, there you go. That's it right there. What kind of man does that? You guys are coming up with some good ones. You can tell everybody's like, let me throw out some of the stuff that I've experienced with these knuckleheads. These are things that you should not ignore, ladies. Things that you should not ignore. Yes. Yes. Yeah, this is a that one is kind of hard right now because of 2 years of of shutdowns and unemployment and stuff. A lot of people have gone through their savings. They've lost homes, cars, businesses. That one is, yeah, but it's kind of, you know, on a case by case basis, I'd say, key. Okay. Yes. Oh, yes. We definitely not overlooking that. Yes. This one right here, glassy eyes. This is number uno. That Santa look. Oh yeah, a little gossip mongering fool. Mm-hmm. Oh, and here, this one right here. People that want you to change. They don't want you. They want you to be some fantasy version. Okay, you guys are coming up with some really really good ones, and I'm glad that you are, and because these will be on the videos of people who are looking can see them when they still look at the video. They can see the comments without having to read the chat because it's really hard to do both. Yeah, this is true. But usually, they ask you to make the doctor's appointment for them and stuff. They'll do it, but you have to do it for them. Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No 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 no. No 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 no. We're not doing that. You guys got some lung babiness. Oh, shut up. Oh God. Yes. Oh no, not a homosexual. Oh my God. Yes, you can't ignore that. Although I did read a story about a woman who found a guy who was like a homeless person and she cleaned him up and they got married and living happily ever after. It turned out he was like, real educated guy and all that stuff, but he had gotten into drugs and so, he kind of went downhill. Mm-hmm. Good one. Good one. Good one. Oh, this one. Yes. Don't overlook that. Great one. Okay, so you look at all of this and you wonder what. Okay, this one right here. I want to put this one in gold. It's like as they say, a number one with a bullet. Yes, I hate that. Oh my God, don't you guys hate that? I hate that. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Gia, we don't use that word. Can you remove that comment? We use a euphemism, which is popcorn. We say popcorn. So could you take that comment down, please, for you under your addictions one? Text too much. Yes. 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 Gia, can you delete that comment, please? Or did you do it already? It's still showing on me, but that doesn't mean you didn't delete it. Okay. All right. All right. Let me. Ah, yes. Okay, you guys got a lot of them. And what's so amazing is how many women ignore all of these, right? These are things that, that I'm going to read you this list of reasons why certain things should not be ignored. Okay. Okay, so what can a woman not overlook? Let's go into my list now. Number one, money management issues. Where does his money go? Or, what does he do with the money? Like if you guys have a joint account, where's that money going? How is it being spent? Who is responsible for what as far as bill paying and, that kind of stuff? The main problem I see is, a lot of the men will squander the money and the woman will overlook it. It's to me, once he does it once, any joint account should be closed and you keep your money separate because he can't be trusted. I remember the story of this woman. Okay, she and her husband, they're supposed to be saving for a house, right? And I think they had, I don't know, like close to $20,000 in it. And for where they lived, that was going to be enough for a down payment. So they started looking for a house, right? And her husband instead went to the bank and pulled out 10,000. So that's basically half the money, and bought himself some rims, some spinners. This was, years ago when those things were popular, and spent $10,000 on new tires and new rims and for his car. And of course, they own the car. There's not too much she could do about it at that point. But she was writing and wondering, what to do about it. And I'm thinking, you should have went immediately to the bank and closed okay, if the 10,000 is community property, then you get your 10,000 out and put it in a separate account, right? Because he took his to half out to buy rimmers and spinners and rims. So that means you go and you get your $10,000. See, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I would have went and probably just took all the money that was in there left, closed the account, and opened an account with just my name in a completely different bank. And then left all the bank records at my job locked in a drawer so he would never see them. See, that's how you got somebody that you can't overlook stuff like that. And not only is it like backstabbing, but it's going to defeat some other goals that you have that I'll go into in a minute. Number two, any man that gets physical. He gets physical. He want to pull you, twist your arm, push you, slap you, choke you, kick at you, swing at you, any kind of anything like that. That's the immediate out, immediate deuce out. Okay. I don't do that's something, and I think a lot of women they get the first sign of it, like the dude gets all in their face and he's pointing his finger, doing all this kind of stuff. That's a threat of violence because a man who's in control would never behave in that way. He's gonna stay in his seat over there and y'all gonna talk like the two adults. but they gonna jump up and run in your face and be breathing hard and got his fists all balled up and huffing and puffing at you and stuff. Nah, nah, nah. Number three, his parenting style is very toxic. You could find out a lot of this if you give hypothetical situations before you even have kids, and get even before you marry him if you want to have kids. So that way you know that this person's idea of parenting and yours are not on the same page, and you would constantly be in stress, and your kids would constantly be upset because the way that this person parents. Okay, so you just leave that alone. Number four, hobbies that consume the partner and take away from the rest of the relationship. The hobbies could include the word that starts with a D, or it could include that word that starts with a P, or it could include uh, cheating, or it could include hanging out with the friends. Gambling is another one. So you what kind of hobbies does he have? And for some women, all these video games that these dudes play, it takes away. They want to do that to the point where they don't even go to work because they stay up all night playing video games, and then they call out the next day. So the money's getting funny. You know. Number five, you should not overlook your need for affection and intimacy. Okay. Now, someone had put that you could overlook that, and I wasn't sure if she meant overlook or if she meant, um, you know, that she wanted to have more of it or something. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Diana. I scrolled up and saw it. I don't know why people are just so focused on that fool that they want to go around and try to promote him all over the place. I don't get it. But yes, thank you for bringing that to my attention because I didn't see it. All right. Number six, interfere in your career or educational goals. Remember the letter the other day where the girl wanted to be a paramedic, an EMT, and her boyfriend kept trying to convince her to do something else? Remember that? Two times she gave in to what he wanted versus her dream, realizing her career path and her dream. I thought that was just so sad. Thank you, you mad? Yeah, I like it to be interactive. It's less work for me. Plus, I get to see what you guys think, which the other, using the other software I use, I didn't really get that option. So this is very nice for me. So it's a lot more interaction actually during the show than, having to wait for you to post a comment after. So I like this too. Number seven, ask to compromise on your values and core beliefs. Now, this comes in when they might want to do something eggplantly that you're not comfortable with. Remember, we just had a letter like that last week. And they want to insist on some, basically some freak shit. And you just like, oh no, 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 we're not going to do that. And, they're pressuring you. They keep asking you over and over and over and over and over after you already said no. See, that's someone who doesn't respect boundaries. And if you have to, as a woman, if you have to tell a man no about the same thing more than one time, get rid of him. Because basically what he's doing is trying to manipulate and coerce you into doing what he wants you to do versus what you have said you are comfortable with, versus in line with your morals, your values, your self-esteem, your self-respect. He's not concerned about you. He wants you to give him what he wants. That's the kind of dude you get rid of immediately. Those are high risk relationships. I think a lot of young girls don't realize they be into this thing where they're like, well, I want to please my man. No, you don't please a man at your detriment. You get rid of him and you get somebody who respects your boundaries and respects you. She might act like this is the only man in the world or something. I just don't get it. Okay, number nine, when you get asked to give up your career or professional dreams. And, dreams like, some like, ever since you were a kid, you want to do blah, blah, blah. And then you start learning it. You just start going that way. And then you meet somebody who thinks that's a bad career and they want you to be something else. Okay, like the girl. But this happens. I remember a letter like that with a young man who wanted to be a fireman. And the girlfriend he had thought that it was stupid. She wanted to go into some business or something. And he's like, no, I want to be a fireman. And he was writing for advice on what he should do. And I told him to dump her because she's not. You want a mate that's going to be your cheerleader and that's in your on your team, not somebody that you have to fight to make your dreams come true. So you got to not only fight to make your dreams come true and go through all that work, you got to fight them to try to convince them to believe in you. That's no kind of relationship. That's no kind of relationship. You don't do that. And number 10, honesty. There should be no compromise about that. You cannot overlook a person lying to you. You cannot make excuses for it and just try to keep the relationship going anyway when you know that they lied or cheated. It just amazes me how many women say, I've been in this relationship for 5 years and he's been cheating for four of them. And I know seven people that he cheated with. And I be sitting there reading them letters thinking, okay, what is you smoking? Because whatever that is, I don't want none of that because you just made you stupid. Why you think he's gonna stop cheating when you still there? There's been no repercussions or punishment for him lying or cheating. He's still getting everything. And these young ladies, they don't respect themselves enough to leave. To leave them dudes alone. It just amazes me. Number 11, if you're in a situation where you notice you're trying to fix him or he's trying to fix you, well, you should this and you should be that. And, why don't you this? And they always say, well, I'm just trying to help. They try to couch it like that. I'm just trying to help. I just want you to be a better person. I think you could do better. And just so they put it in that way. But basically what they're doing is putting you down. It's like they're basically telling you that you're not good enough. And so I see, a lot of women say, well, he said I should be better. I should this and that. And I'm thinking you should do this to him on your way out the door. You don't let somebody come into your life trying to tell you what you need to be, do, and say. What are you, a dog? You know how they tell dogs, speak and stuff. The dog roll over and all sorts of stuff. Okay, those are pets. That's different. And even I wouldn't do that to a dog. I mean, I think dogs are very regal creatures, especially cats too. But, I just couldn't just treat them like that where you just be having them do circus tricks and shit. That's so undignified to me. If your pet is your companion, you treat them with respect. You don't make them do circus tricks. That's just so rude to me. We never did that with our dogs. We never had them do tricks. And then my final one is the point number 12. Anyone in any situation that invalidates you. Any kind of negging, invalidation, put downs, criticisms of your dreams, goals, things that you're proud about yourself, your friends, your family, anything like that, where they try to make you feel bad, any kind of way they invalidate your dreams, your goals, your hobbies, your interests, your friends, your family, your job, your salary, anything that they make a negative and try to put you down and make you feel small and bad about, that is a person that you should leave in the smoke of your dust. Like that freaking day. There's no way in this world. Every time a woman is in a situation like that, where somebody's invalidating her and she stays, she ends up a wreck. Her self-esteem is shattered. Her whole sense of confidence and everything else is gone. And we see this over and over and over and over. I don't understand it. I don't understand why women stay and they feel like is this the only man on the planet? I'm seriously be asking that question. Why? Forgot to take that off, sorry. Okay, so now let's go into my final list. My final list. Is this what I finished? Yes, this is my last page. You think self-esteem is taught? I don't know if it's taught, but it can definitely be damaged. Like for instance, a little kid, right? They don't have to be taught to be proud of their picture, or they build the block tower and stuff like that. They don't have to be taught that. They do it, and then they will sit there and they want to show it to you, right? They want to show you their picture. They want to show you what they did. They want to show you, I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about little babies that can barely even talk yet, or maybe not even talk yet. They already have that trait in them to want, to their parents' approval. And so a lot of people oblige, and they will clap and do this and that, or they say, oh, that's a wonderful, you did such a good, or tell me about this story, this and that. Okay, so what that does is reinforces that child's positive opinion of themselves. So see, that can go two ways. I think every child has that in them because, like I said, my mother did daycare for 25 years. We Thousands of little kids went through that daycare. I was on the license. Not to mention my kid, plus all the kids that I babysat, my baby cousins and stuff. I was on every single little kid that I've ever seen has that trait in them from birth. Now, this is where it comes out. This is where it comes into a problem. When people when people put the kid down, that's when it becomes, so it's not like you can't teach self-esteem, but you can definitely teach shame. You can teach humiliation. You can teach a child that it's not good enough. You can teach those things. But everybody comes with a blank slate and they feel pretty good about themselves. But parents and other people mess it up for them. That's where the teaching comes in. So say your kid builds a block tower. Okay, your baby's 1. And your baby's sitting on the floor, and your baby takes a block and puts it on the other block, and takes a block and puts it on the other block, and then builds a little tower, and then is all happy because they built, they stacked them up, which is a real, skill of dexterity at that age. Okay, so this is the parent sees the baby's like happy, grinning, and looking at this little block tower. The parent can do two things. The parent can either praise the child and say, wow, you did that, good job, that kind of stuff, right? Which reinforces the child's positive opinion of him or herself. Or the parent can just say, so what's that? Or worse yet, the parent can knock it down. And then the little baby's crying because their block tower is destroyed. Right? So I think parents can definitely, people can definitely teach their child to feel shame, humiliation, and not good enough by how they talk to them and treat them. That's what I think. Okay, so let's talk about this. The things that a woman should not ignore. To me, they fall into these categories. Okay, let me see. I should have put numbers, I only put bullets. Let's start at the top. The category of self-respect. This is when you give up your self-respect. This is when you will do anything to try to make somebody approve of you and love you and accept you. This is something that you should never, ever, ever do to get somebody to, to be in a relationship with you. Something that you ignore in order to stay in the relationship. Things that damage your self-respect. You should also not ignore anything which impacts your dignity. These are, the negging, the shaming, embarrassing you with nasty jokes, talking about your figure, and talking about your intellect, any kind of, they may say, well, I was just kidding, it was just a joke, that kind of shit. That kind of stuff right there, that it gives you a negative impact on your dignity as a woman, or dignity as a person, dignity as a woman, dignity as his wife, or whatever the role is there. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. That is a major red flag. Another thing a woman should never ignore is anything that comes from that man that impacts negatively her morals or values. This includes your family values, it's basically how you roll in the world, the kind of ways that you treat other people and the kind of ways that you treat yourself. Those are your morals and values, your moral and value system. And, it basically indicates what you will and will not do, will and will not say, and how you're going to behave. For example, say you're somewhere and you see an old person leaving a bank and they drop $100 bill. Now, this old person, you can see how they dress. That's money probably was they're going to be using to eat for the next 2 or 3 weeks. You have an option here. Do you run up to the person and give them the $100 bill that they dropped, or do you put it in your pocket? Those are your values. That's the good example. That's an example I could come up with right now. Do you allow a man to impact your core beliefs and ethics? This would be the category which would include your spiritual beliefs. The ethical behavior that makes you the person that you are. This is just a deeper part of your value system. Is a deeper part of who you are, like your values, like how you honor your respect your mother, your adherence to your cultural belief system, that kind of thing. Your health and the eating of healthy food. Do you think that that's something that you should compromise on? I don't. You only got one body. You better take care of it. Um, Trust and loyalty is a big one. Is this something that you should ignore? That you can be, that just pretend is not even an issue? The trust that you have in a man and his loyalty to you. Because people will lie. They will try to manipulate you. They lie because it's easier. They lie because whatever they think is going to happen, they don't want to be bothered with it. So they just lie. This happens all the time. But if it's something, being done to manipulate you in some way in the relationship, or to stay in a relationship that you wouldn't opt to be in if you knew the truth, or to get you to believe something that's not true. Remember the letter the other day where the girl's boyfriend said, oh, let's not go to that party because let's just have time between the two of us. And so she spent time with him and dropped him back off at his house, and then he went to the party secretly behind her back after she went home, never, and didn't even tell her. The next day she had to hear it from some coworkers that that's what he did. Okay, can she trust him? Is he loyal? That wouldn't work for me, because that's some underhanded, sneaky stuff right there. And if he would do something like that just about going out with some drinks, what else would he be trying to hide? See, I could never trust a man like that. That's just too underhanded. Um, Another thing that I think that should not be ignored is hygiene. Someone's poor hygiene can impact your health. A man with dirty fingernails and dirty hands, dirty other parts of his body, touching you in an intimate area, you will end up with the infection of life. Okay? Some women have been hospitalized because, stuff went into their fallopian tubes and stuff. It's nothing to play with. If you got a nasty man, leave him alone. Your very fertility could be at stake. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Because that includes, like, your sexual health, and hygiene, and, taking care of things in that direction too. Love and commitment. Okay, under this category would be like, okay, you get the sneaking sensation that you are a rebound relationship with this person. Okay, that's something you shouldn't ignore. If you feel like you're in a relationship of convenience, don't ignore that. If you feel like you want a relationship or marriage, engaged, whatever, because of family pressure or cultural pressure, or because all your friends are getting married and you're the only one that's not, or something along those lines, you're making a decision for your life based on pressure from other people or from your mate to be or do something that you're really not ready for, then that's a big question mark. That's not really going to give you the kind of commitment that you're looking for. That's some kind of pressure situation or rebound. They just desperate for anybody. You could just be like a blank face. They don't really care. Well, I don't know. I didn't number these. Okay. Never give up your financial independence. I know there are a lot of channels on YouTube that tell women that they should look for a man to take care of them so they can be a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife. They will depend 100% financially on that man. I personally think that is a stupid, stupid, stupid thing to do. You need to have your own. Okay? I don't care if you got a side hustle, a home-based business, you design websites, whatever, you do something so that you can make some money independent of him. That is like a child depending on daddy. I haven't depended on a man to take care of me since I left my father's house. And actually, even before then, I had little jobs and stuff, little part-time jobs. I mean, he still provided housing and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? I always had my own money from the time I was 15 years old. So I don't understand the wanting to depend on a man like he's your daddy and you a 2 year old, a 5 year old, 10 year old holding your hand out for allowance or something. That doesn't seem very adult. No, well, okay, the next one, peace of mind and your happiness. If you're in a situation where you're being negatively impacted by that, your peace of mind is gone, your happiness is questionable. You feel sad, depressed, and everything, and it's because of this relationship or this man and how he talks to you, how he treats you, how he ignores you, how you feel like you're suffering in a relationship. Why are you still there? These are things you should never ignore. Never. Major red flag. Rest and relaxation. Okay, now I've heard of situations where the guy, okay, say a woman has a job and she's got some big presentation the next day, or she's got a big test or something, or she's going to test so she can get into grad school or something, something. There's something going on in her life that's going to advance her, that's going to make her life better. These dudes will sabotage you. They will keep you up all night arguing, fighting, or, they'll do something. They'll do something to sabotage your success so that you fail. You should be aware of situations like that. Tune in and pay attention to what he's saying and what he's doing and the timing of it. If you notice that it's always about something when you're about to come up, you better move on. That's something you should not ignore. Okay? You want to say, well, that's my baby daddy. That's this and that, this and that. I don't care. I don't care. He doesn't want you to be successful. He wants you to be like behind underneath him to control you and dominate you and make you just be so he can always feel like you're less than him. Y'all better pay attention. Okay, if he violates your personal boundaries. Now there's all kinds of levels of that. I couldn't even really think of any. I mean, you know what I mean, other than those I already said, but my personal boundaries is don't use my stuff without asking me first. Okay, but then you come home and he done let your sister use some outfit of yours or your expensive perfume or something, and then your shoes that you just bought, she's wearing them to a job interview or something like that. Nobody asked you. See, to me, I just would go to again back on the moon. I'll be back on the moon. Don't do that. Like I said, I was raised as the only girl, never had to share. So I don't want to share with your sister, your auntie, your mama. No, make them buy their own or you buy it for them. They're not using mine. I don't like that. I never even liked that in school. Girls, you be in the bathroom, right? You doing your lipstick. It's like, oh, can I use your lipstick? Hell no, bitch. You're not using my stuff. You might have herpes or something. I'm not trying to get nothing from you. But if they want to use it, I would give it to them. Because I've half used it anyway. I was like, you want my lip cooties here? There you go. It's all yours now. Um, Another one is your space and private time. Some guys want to be up under you all the time. They don't want you to have any space away from them. They call you 55 million times. They text you 1,000 times. It's like you try to go somewhere with your friends. They are all up in your mix. You can't even relax and enjoy your evening away with friends and family because they just there. They just want to just bug the fuck out of you. And it's, the main thing they just text you, calling you. Oh, I just wanted to see what you were doing. Where are you guys? Well, how are you doing? Well, what are you eating? Send me a picture of it, that kind of stuff. No, I'm gonna see you when I get back. When is that gonna be? When I get there. That's all you need to know. So, you have a guy trying to put you in that kind of trick bag. You need to pay attention to that. Too many women just go along with it because they're like, oh, he just asked me, so I told him. You're supposed to put up a boundary like, look, 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 look. I had a daddy and it didn't look like you. So I told you where I was. I told you when I'm gonna be back, approximately. And that's it. Don't call me anymore. I mean, even if you're on fire, don't call me. Call 911. Somebody who can actually help you. It's not going to be me. And your physical, emotional, or psychological safety. Be very careful with that because, the little women will get stressed out and suffer anxiety in relationships because the guy makes them feel so insecure. A lot of them will set you up by trying to make you jealous, or they create situations where you feel like you have to compete with somebody, an ex, or some girl at their office, or so, I don't know, just whatever. But anything that's going to make you feel like you don't feel safe there. You don't feel safe around him. You don't feel like you could be protected from stuff that comes along, or like he might sacrifice you to save himself. It's like some of these dudes. But if you have that kind of anxiety about your relationship, are you getting that kind of pressure from a man who's trying to manipulate you to feel that kind of anxiety and insecurity because it makes him feel better? Then you have to stop and think about that. What is he doing to me, and why am I letting him do it? These are major red flags. These are things that you absolutely should not ever ignore, being treated like that. And the final one on my list is uh, maintain a sense of discipline about yourself. A lot of women will have guys that come into their lives, and so the woman, she's got like a plan, and she goes to work every day, she goes to school, she does her homework, cleans her house, she has like a routine. She's very disciplined. Her gym time, she goes and sees her mom on Sundays. She has like a little routine, and is very disciplined, and everything about her is going to plan. She doesn't eat certain foods because she knows it's going to break her out or make her gain weight or make her sick. She's got things together, and she's been working her little program. So then here comes this dude, right? And he, well, oh, I picked up some burgers. It's 10 o'clock at night. Now, she don't eat after 6. But she feels like, oh, I'm in a relationship now. I'll just eat this burger with him. And then, a week later, she's 5 pounds heavier and can't fit in her pants. So then it's like, where do you, and, some guys will do this. I had a friend, well, this boyfriend of mine had a friend, and, he became both of our friends. But he used to get girls who were skinny, and he would fatten them up. He liked big girls. And I'm like, dude, why don't you just go get you a big girl? Why are you messing up with these women's bodies like that? But that was his thing. And so, sometimes, you got a guy who will try to change you, get you out of your routine. Oh, let's not go to work today. Let's just go to the beach. Oh, I know that you have to do your homework and stuff, but you can do it later. You can do it tomorrow. So he's convincing you through using his love to get off your program and break your self-discipline pattern. That a man who does that kind of stuff is questionable. His motives are suspect. And a lot of women will unfortunately fall into that trap. But to me, that is a thing where all the stuff I just read to you are things that you should not ignore when they happen in your relationship, along with all the long list of wonderful things that y'all presented. Dating athletes, oh yeah, see, you can't, no, because they're eating like 10,000 calories a day because they're working out for hours and hours and running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth up and down the field, a court or something, and they're like 6 feet 2, 3, 5, and all muscle. So their calorie burn is way higher than any woman's would ever be. And so you trying to eat with them, you're gonna be looking like a roly poly in a short order. That's just not gonna work. That's not gonna work. And pizza, I had to give up pizza. I gave up pizza. I don't know. Just had to give up so many things. That's like, God, I'm gonna be eating air in a minute. That's all I'm gonna be eating. So anyway, you guys, that is that show. And thank you, Jones. I think it was Jones 5, who submitted that question for us. If you have a topic that you would like to see addressed on a future show, just submit it to me at survivingdating@gmail.com. And also, we're taking questions for our advice show that comes every Tuesday. You go in the show description down below, click the link that says Get Advice, and you can send your question in. We do not guarantee that every question is responded to, but we try to mix them up and get a good variety of questions each week. Your question may not be answered that week, it may not be answered for a month, and it may not be answered at all. But that's just how it is when you get stuff for free. All right, so you guys, Oh yeah, what do we have coming up? Oh yeah, next Friday. Next Friday is Christmas Eve, right? And we're going to be doing another one of the real-time advice shows. So if you want personal advice, that's the show to hit. I will be doing that on location at my cousin's house because that's where I'm gonna be on Christmas Eve. So that ought to be interesting. Oof, I hope we can keep all them kids quiet. I don't know what kind of thing I'm gonna do, but I don't know what the setup is gonna be like. But that's where I'm gonna be doing this show. And yeah, and then on Tuesday, as usual, is the What the Fuck Tuesday show. All right. So you guys, thank you as usual. I want you to hit that like button before you leave and share a link and hit the subscription button too. We're trying to reach 30,000 subscribers before February, which starts February 1st of 2022. So, share a link, tell a friend about the stuff that we have going on here, and let everybody know that this is the bomb relationship advice channel. The one and only Deb Cooper, been coming around here and online for shit. How long has I started on AOL? So yeah, it's been 30 years of online advice. So thanks you guys for sitting in with me on this Saturday night. You get on out there, finish your Christmas shopping, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye bye.